Alright everyone, a little bit of a disconcerting news story actually. Link in the description, archived of course. I'm going to read some of this verbatim because, this should not be happening in the United States. This happened down in Georgia. Georgia mom's arrest puts free-range parenting back into spotlight. Brittanypatterson was arrested after her son walked a mile by himself. By the way, a mile is literally nothing. Brittanypatterson was captured on police body cam video being handcuffed and taken into custody after her 10-year-old son left home and was found walking in their small town of Mineral Bluff. It is generally safe for children to walk in small town America. Now, this is not Chicago, this is not San Francisco, it's small town America. I'll give my own anecdotal story about this myself. I was shocked, surprised, disbelief, Patterson, 41, said. Couldn't really understand what was going on or why. They told me to put my hands behind my back, and then I had to ask to tell my children goodbye. She was charged with reckless conduct, which ignited a nationwide debate, there really is no debate, about child independence. After her arrest, the Georgia mother of four made headlines. People everywhere, including on talk shows, social media, and news networks, discussed the appropriate age for children to do things independently. Here's the thing. I remember life, maybe I'm being nostalgic here. I remember being 6, 7 years old and walking to school myself when I was in Woodstock. This is not reckless. This is called you don't live in a big city that's filled with crime and illegals and stuff like that. As long as you've told your kid, hey, if somebody says they've got puppies in their van or they want to give you free candy, you should probably avoid them. Other than that, you don't have any problem. For instance, kids here in Rutland, they walk around on their own all the time. You see them everywhere, especially when they're walking to school and stuff like that. They're not causing any problems. Nobody's causing any problems with them. It's been a very long time, thankfully, since there's been any sort of victimization of kids, for example, here in Rutland. And Rutland is considered dicey by Vermont standards, by the way. They call us Rut Vegas for a reason. So when I was a kid, I was walking to school on my own. When I was a little bit older, I would go hiking on my own. I'd hike for 5, 6 miles or something like that. The only thing that I took with me was my sketchbook and my knife, and later on, of course, a camera. Nothing ever happened. You'd see some fruitcakes once in a while. There was this old British dude who would ramble and rave and say weird shit, but other than him, nobody else ever bothered me. He wasn't really a bother. He was just eccentric. Think he was an expat of some sort. The idea of arresting someone, charging them with reckless conduct because their kid decided to go buy candy at the store, my goodness, my parents would have been arrested 100 times over then when I was a kid. Your parents probably would have been too. It literally makes no sense. It's boggling my mind that this case even exists. Because there's no compounding factor. There was no malice, number one. Nobody was harmed, number two. It's not like she told her son, fuck off, and then locked the door behind him so he could come back at any time that he wanted to. He just wanted to go to the store and get a soda or something like that. And for some reason, this legal case exists. The crime was that she didn't know where her kid was for a little while because she'd left them at home, a blogger and co-founder of Let Grow, Lenore Skenazy, said. And her surprise, he didn't stay home. It's just so normal, and to make it into a crime is insane. Yeah, so, I mean, that's the reason. The compounding factor is the fact that she left briefly, and her son decided to go to the store. This is apparently a crime in the state of Georgia. Makes absolutely no sense. Patterson's ordeal began when she left home in late October to take one of her older children to the doctor. Her youngest son, Soren, who was nearly 11 at the time, stayed home. Later that day, the Fannin County Sheriff's Office reported that Soren, who is now 11, walked less than a mile into town to visit the local Dollar General store. Authorities found him walking alone after a concerned resident called police. That's called a snitch, by the way. Narking a little bit. Police took Soren, who was unharmed, home, but a few hours later they returned and arrested Patterson in front of her children. Yeah, they managed to get a warrant in only a couple of short hours. Yeah, that's one hell of a judge, by the way. Many such cases. I believe in free-range parenting. Kids should go out into the woods. Kids should go out and have fun, unperturbed by the legal system, and preferably unperturbed by other people. They're going to get into trouble anyway. What's the average 10, 11-year-old boy doing? when he decides to randomly wander off. He grabs a stick and he hits trees or something like that. Or maybe he just goes and gets soda. The real crime here is he probably ate too much fucking candy. So, yeah, I mean, I feel sorry for Miss Patterson because the state is definitely acting up in that particular case now, aren't they? That's about all. Peace out.